Alright guys, welcome back to top 4 for BCS France. Guys, we're going to be transitioning straight over to the game where we're going to have Hectare and Cyril about to face off in a Shiranui mirror match, actually, which would be pretty fun to watch.
This could go either way, but I think Shiranui wins.
Stop. Stop this behavior. Cease. But, nonetheless, actually, generally two fantastic players facing off the final round now. Not final, top cut, is what I meant to say.
Winner of this, guaranteed invite.
Yeah.
You know? It's pretty good.
Again, two of the best players around at the moment. Just, again, today's just been a showing of, like, the fact that, like, Nui is still, like, a top-tier deck.
Yep.
And also getting to see just how many people can... Yeah, there you go. So you see how many people come back with their already topping kind of generators.
Yep.
To show how many people are re-qualifying this season. Which I think is actually a pretty big thing, because a couple of years ago there was a phase where a lot of new players were qualifying, which I think made some people feel like there was a bit of kind of more randomness involved, but I think this is kind of solidifying when you see these people kind of topping again and again and again and again, that it just shows their skill expression and the fact that like, they can keep doing it. Because, the Shiranui going out there. So I believe both are going to be on pretty similar builds here. I think on the build, they're both on the draw build, which I think is honestly the correct build for now.
The good build for now. For like, after these hits from recent, these like more draw-focused builds make more sense.
But also I think the one impressive thing as well when you look at it is when you have to kind of respect how much flexibility exists in Nui, that you get a hit and you immediately adapt to a new build and just go for it like nothing changed at all, right?
And if you
close your eyes.
Do you think these guys are gonna like grade 2 game in this matchup in like the mirror, or do you just like kind of accept it and ride out? Like, does it matter that much?
I think when you're playing, unless you're like running away with the game, I don't think you can get away with it because then all it takes is for one of you to make a breakthrough, and then the second one is already so far behind because now they're in a panic to ride up, and they're behind, so like they're like double behind.
Yeah.
So I think you just say, look, to hell with it, just ride up, we'll deal with it later. Just.
Okay. I feel like depending on like the kind of hands you have, you can still try and force like these grade 2 games. Defensive Roar is such a good card, no?
I think it's like one of my favorite design cards in D personally. I really, really like it.
Thinking of whether to ride up or not. He's going to opt to ride up.
There you go. So you can see Hectare there just deciding that, like, you know what, there's just no point. Like, we're going to go back and forth, and, you know, eventually one of us is going to fall behind, but when both of your hands are this big, it could easily be either of you, so I don't think you want to take that risk. I think you just go to the stabilizing game plan and just go, my stride tones are going to be better, hopefully, we'll just go see what happens. And yeah, one crew just doesn't do it for the 2 to pass, and it's going to be pass over. The one thing I'm worried about for Cyril here is the fact that he's looking like he's looking at like what 3 or 4 defensive rolls in hand.
Yeah.
Which I mean, with one already out, that's all of them, which is quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I think it's the fact that you can only use one of them per turn, right? So you're starting to look at a lot of dead hand, which I think is pretty scary actually.
I mean, they will all eventually get a use, so. It's not a bad Soldier either. The Warden.
Because it's always going to drop, right? So it's not like an issue.
Well, are we just starting with a stride here? Okay.
I think that's okay.
So that's fine. Depending on what the rest of the hand is, it's fine. Obviously, it's not the ideal thing you want, but it's good enough.
Yeah, it does the job, right?
It gets you there for 1 card. But that damage is not really what you want.
Yeah, it can be a lot actually, depending on effects here. Yeah, and I know just to give people a brush up, because I know we've both seen the card a lot today, but I know we've not really talked about it. We're thinking of the Magentenbu here.
Yep.
So when you stride it, Of course, Nui can dominate something on stride, but Magintempo lets a CB1 dominate something and have it swing at Vanguard, or swing at anything, and then retires at the end of battle. But the important thing there is the fact that it flips. That's, I think, the most important part of it.
It is essential for your scaling.
It is like the scaling stride for Nubatama right now until next year. Although, interesting enough, we've not really, even though Horizon won, it's interesting that even with these these auto-focused builds, despite the fact that would make Shenri go live early, we've not seen anybody running the new Nubatama promo. The one that lets you revive a stealth from drop.
It might be partially that it's not
Readily
as
available
good
yet.
as it is. As like we're thinking it is. Maybe it's not as available.
Double crit is rough. That's a 1.
And another.
That's a 2. And a 3.
Third. Oh, you hate to see that. All those things go to damage. Really
that is 35.
rough.
And while Hectare has the hand for it, my god, that is a
going straight to 5 is.
That is
so
a
rough.
damage discrepancy.
However, I've seen players heal all the way down.
I've experienced Cormac healing all the way down. I don't like this either.
Pitching both for Shrine.
Yep. And despite the weird wording, that does work. You are able to return the grade 3 to your hand. The reason for that being that because they're both discarded for a cost, when the effect cost is finished being paid, the grade 1 sees that and is then able to return the card to your hand. It's really funky wording because normally cards don't work that way, but
it's not intuitive to how it should work based on how they're written.
It's another case of like your physical actions. Yeah, it's one of those like your physical actions contradict the words on the card, and so your brain doesn't compute. But in the way that the game works, it does follow.
Thinking about what to counterblast here, I think like there's arguments for pretty much everything. I do think flipping the over is correct choice. Just because if you do heal it out, you want to be able to add it back, or if you check the purple OT, that is an ideal thing to add to your hand. It's double Shenri.
But the thing is with the older as well, like aid makes, you know how like oftentimes you find people unable to mag and Tenmu because of their CB denial?
Yeah.
Well, the new promo cards gets over, first of all, gets around that, and also lets you revive potentially the Furry that you now only have one of. But I wonder if it's an accessibility thing, whether it's more an accessibility thing than a...
it might be. It might very well be.
Yeah, than like a call necessarily.
Okay, the 1 of 1 coming down as well, and we're going to use this to search out. The last copy, just so we have access to it for next turn.
Because yeah, for example in this board, say like, you know that Horizon on for this world, but then being able to go like Shenri to Soul, because also, you know how we were talking earlier about Shenri being denied? Do you remember the secondary condition for Shenri is or if you played an order this time?
Yes.
And while discarding the order doesn't do it, reviving a Furry would proc it still. So...
Again, like, it might also just be that there's not enough space in the deck based on the other stuff you're playing, you know? Like...
Because a lot of people play the grade 1 that like on-play CB1 draw 1 and then bounce it to hand. Now that the builds have a lot... Double defensive. Zero just wants it more.
Yeah.
Double... You realize that means in his like top 7 cards, or a heal and 2 heals, 4 crits. Which is unreal. Or 1 heal, 1 front, 4 crits. Because I believe we saw him draw a heal, and then we see double crit last and double crit now, and I think there might have been another one in between. But yeah, there we go, double PG basically. Basically OT to pass and go, Hectare, can you do it? And if Hectare does it, first check, that's you never upset to see a front. Second check, third check, that's another front. Again, Nui's one of those decks you're never unhappy seeing fronts in.
I mean, these 2 fronts also do counter the 2 defenses as well. Because it's applying it to the whole front row, you know, it basically just says, neither of us checked the trigger.
It's like, look, listen man, let's just like... This is the ultimate, listen buddy, let's talk about this. We can figure this out. But you gotta just wonder if you're Hectare right now, right? Like, can you survive this turn coming out? I think the double front almost ensures that you do, but...
Yes, but I think you are then going into a still not pleasant position on your next turn. It's not a lost position to say, but it's not what you want.
And there you go. It's probably going to be the... There we go. So I knew I could click properly. There we go. I'm a big boy. This is Shiranui Mukuro.
Yep.
Which Soul Blasts 1, I believe. And doesn't flip, importantly, but it dominates a Rearguard to swing at something, and then dominates a Vanguard to swing at something.
Yep.
So you kind of are able to choose two
Rearguard
more
that it
checks.
dominates has to go Vanguard.
Yeah, and then the Vanguard can go anywhere.
Yes. Exactly.
Including another Rearguard.
Yeah.
Including, but not limited to.
Sometimes that matters.
But yeah, realistically, it's just a way for you to drive check 2 triggers during your main phase.
Oh, double seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that's the line, right?
Do we
You
have the soul for it, though? This is a 5 soul turn, if we fully commit.
Yeah. There you go, swing it first. And I feel like this is one of those turns where even not going all the way is still like pretty solid.
Yes, definitely.
First check, PG, second check, crit trigger.
That is really big.
That is massive for Cyril here. I feel like just go for the pokes.
Yeah. I think there's an argument for swinging the crit one first, just to play around.
But again,
like,
these are 35 and 45, so like both of those are still like 2,
yes,
3
I know,
tokens.
but you're like playing around potential OTs or whatever, because if for whatever reason he just says no guard on the first second, it's an OT, turns over, your crit's wasted. But if you swing at the crit one, they're like, oh.
I don't think there's a world here where so that's a critical trigger as well.
That's another huge.
Second check, second PG, and a heal as well.
Trigger, the heal
doesn't go up, but it's 45 and 55 on a 4-card hand.
Yeah.
One of them is OT, but then the other ones have to block an attack still.
Yep.
It's still gonna be 2 damage each. That's crazy power. I think Hectare just has to pray for the heal here, honestly, because he's got an OT in hand.
2 heals, though.
And
no,
unfortunately, that is going to be game for Cyril. But congratulations to him for securing his spot in finals and worlds.
Yeah.
But good game. Unfortunately, that double critical trigger really does.
I mean,
swing the game.
sometimes opponent just sees more than you.
Sometimes they just want it more.
Yeah.
But what we can probably do is we're going to quickly run over and get grand finals set up for all you guys. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in actually just a couple of minutes this time, maybe, hopefully. No promises.
I mean, like, give or take a few.
But
I mean, it just depends on how long the rest of these games are going, really. Like,
yeah, the other game.
Some games could be going like really down to the wire.
Yeah. But I'm thinking the 2 Nui matchup is like something that's going to be kind of interesting seeing, because I'm not sure what the other side of top 4 is.
Well, it's bat versus what? Something.
That's a question mark.
So that game could literally be over in 2 turns, or it could be dragged out for quite a long time, depending on what the matchup actually is.
But what we could probably do is we're probably going to go on a quick break, run over there, find out who Cyril will be facing. Again, one of the best players in Europe, so I'm glad to see him going back to Worlds. So guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the grand finals for France. See you in just a minute.